Hello everybody, in this video I would like to talk about this book, Doctor Sleep. It was written by the American author Stephen King as a sequel to his book The Shining, one of the most important works of his career. Most of you would probably know who Stephen King is, but let's talk about him. Stephen King was born in the year 1947 in Portland, Maine, and it is well known because of his terror and supernatural novels. Not even because of The Shining, but he is well known because others like The Green Mile and It. At first I tried to read Doctor Sleep without reading The Shining, and honestly I didn't understand anything. So I decided to watch the film of The Shining and then starting reading Doctor Sleep from the beginning again. By watching the film I knew the story of most of the characters of the book, and I started to comprehend the atmosphere that included all the storyline. But I found another problem. The film of The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, was different in some aspects from the book of Stephen King. Finally, I found an article on the internet that explained the differences between the film of The Shining and the book, so I started reading Doctor Sleep from the beginning once more. To follow the plot of the book, it's important to highlight what The Shining is indeed. We can say that The Shining is like a telepathic ability that acts like a supernatural communicator. Into the book. The book, Doctor Sleep, tells the story of Daniel Torrance, the son of Wendy and Jack Torrance, that is still being terrified because of the events that happened in the past at the Overlook Hotel. Torrance is an alcoholic and no-money adult that lives in Teeny Town in Hampshire. Using his shining and thanks to his friends, Dan will get a job at the town nursing home, and he will become Doctor Sleep due to his powers and the help of a cat that can predict when people will die. But the main theme of the book is the fight that Daniel will have against an ancient order called the True Knot, that travels in a caravan across the country looking for a substance called the steam that can only be obtained by torturing and killing kids with the shining. The leaders of this group, that call themselves the Real Humans, are Rose Top Hat and Crow Daddy. Dan's mission will be protecting Abra, also called Abby in the book, from this order. Abra is a little girl with a really big quantity of the shining that will become an interesting objective for the True Knot. Daniel, helped by Billy, one of his friends, and Abra, will lead against the True Knot in the Rocky Mountains, where the Overlook Hotel was opened once. To win the battle, Dan will need help from his father Ghost, that will finally make the peace with his son. In my humble opinion, I think this book is not one of the best books written by Stephen King, but it is an interesting option, an easy reading, to know what happened with Daniel Torrance after the Overlook incident. If we pay attention to the characters, they are not as complicated as they used to be in Stephen King novels, but the plot is a good way to give a close end to all this series of The Shining. Anyway, thank you for your attention. I hope you have enjoyed this critic, and I encourage you to read this book, Doctor Sleep, by Stephen King.